Dude, my perfectionist self, bro. I just reshot this entire video and it sucks. But fuck it, I'm reshooting this entire thing. I'm gonna show a clip for the topic of this video by Dick Gregory. I hope you guys enjoy it. I don't know if any of you guys know who he is, but he is a god in this game. I don't know if he passed. If he did pass, hey brother, I know you're keeping this alive on the other side. So, coming back to the video in 3, 2, 1. Oh, you're not coming back yet.
Give me some booty. Then I started doing the research. Booty is a pirate's word for the loot. Let me show you the loot. I'm going to get me some booty. The black woman in America ain't never been freed. So it's booty. Nobody told us that. We don't know why we even said, hey man, it's a game.
Okay, welcome back to the video. So I'm gonna make this really short. I'm gonna sum it up and I'm gonna go super fast again because, oh my gosh, interruptions in the background, bro. I gotta start recording at 6 a.m. again. Welcome back. So let's talk about words being powerful. I'm gonna stay on the topic of the conversations you have with yourself, but I wanna give you guys the example of the words that you're using literally during the day. Now, you probably heard the cliche ones from the woke brigade, but I'm gonna show you. So you can probably look up any word and find deeper meanings to all words, even humble. My cousin and I had a whole conversation about how the word humble is actually detrimental to yourself if you don't know how it's being utilized against you. To humble yourself and things like that in certain areas of your life, you should not humble yourself. But the word was actually used to put people down if you do deeper research in it. To humble someone is to literally like shut them down when they could be feeling themselves. Sometimes there's someone that, you know, and I love this because it's almost like this with YouTube videos. When you don't know the full story of what went into recording it behind the scenes or what the full story of anything was, people like to come in and give their judgments without any second of using their brain and say someone is really feeling themselves in a video, or someone who never really had a lot of money before and they're flexing it, but they're not stupid with their money, but they're flexing it, and then someone comes in and maybe, hey, maybe you should humble yourself, you get to make all this money, blah blah, or like maybe you should sit down or relax, blah blah, and they don't feel like they should. Like, it's crazy. The languages that we use every day, whether it be Spanish, Latin, whatever, there's a lot of spells within them, and words are super powerful. Another thing that I gave in the other video, trying to be quick with this because I'm trying to redo it all, is if you're religious, tell me this, tell me down below, let me know what it is that God created the world with words. You know, this universe is frequency, vibration, and energy. Nikola Tesla, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. It's all words, vibrating. Literally artists, they use artists in the music industry to literally push narratives. Their words are powerful. Their words are powerful. That's why when I listen to music, I like listening to my stuff that is entertainment. But remember, I separate it from entertainment and like actual conscious like lyrics from other artists. So remember, a lot of people don't do that. They get programmed by certain songs and don't even realize. But that's another video. But in this video, I'm trying to tell you that words are super powerful, and they try to downplay it with things like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. That is a lie, and you definitely know that if you're someone who's been depressed or down or had that inner conversation in their head with them where they're talking down on themselves every day. So that little thing that they try to program with us in school is a lie, is a big old lie. But the thing I want to come back to is literally like the cliche thing you've probably heard from the woke brigade, that's what I call them, and the people who, I'm conscious and all this, is the whole one with the weekday. This is a big one though. Job. So if you work a job in Hebrew means persecution. You go to a 9 to 5 or a job on the weekdays. During the weekdays, you're getting weaker, and you get the end of the deal. So on the weekend, you are weakened at the end of the week. You see that? And I said in my other video that I was a little bit afraid to voice it because of the people I currently am bringing my light to right now, and we're all bouncing off each other and bringing new energy to the house. But in this house, I've noticed that too, that a little bit that they were living for the weekend. Like, can't wait to get to the weekend, can't wait to get off. And that's how they get you. That is how they get you. You're going to be weakened at the end of the week. your job is so draining because you're getting weaker during the weekdays, and then you get the weekend of the deal. So by the end of the week, you think you're resting, but you know you're getting the weekend of the deal. But that's the whole cliche one that you've probably heard. Another one, instead of saying good morning, is the whole grand rising. And I mentioned in the other video how my mentor Bob dropped his new part of his Elements album, Antimatter, and literally Brother Panic, which if you don't know about Brother Panic, awesome death coach, you should look him up. Yes, I said death coach. In that, he literally was poking fun at people. He was like, happy grand rising, Bob, because I laugh at people that say grand rising too. I'm not judging them, but it's like every time someone becomes woke or conscious or spiritual, which I'm not none of that, I'm just an aware being in this game of all the programming, they change up their language and like fake the language, and it's like, you don't need to do that. If you want to do it, okay, but you gotta say what you mean and really feel what you mean, or words don't work. They just fall on deaf ears, which could be your own ears and not just the ears of others. But the whole grand rising thing is because of saying good morning. So if you didn't know, morning, when you mourn, people mourn the dead. When you wake up in the morning, you say good morning. Who are we mourning? No one died. And we're supposed to be the living, but we're saying good morning. So we're the living dead. And then also awake. Awake is a funeral for the dead, and you wake up in the morning. See, so there's a whole lot of things with languages. Now, another little quick point before I get on to how you should really talk to yourself. And I got into a whole thing about humble, but honestly, I'm just gonna go to talking to yourself and affirmations. Right after I give this little point right here is, after you figure these things out about words, you are the alchemist. Turn dirt into gold. You can take these words that are being used against you and flip them. And I was making a thing about people who live for the weekend. Instead of waking up, really try to put the effort forth to wake up in the morning and be like, you know what? Today's another day. Anything's gonna happen. It's gonna be a chill day. You know what? No matter what happens, I'm gonna have a good day. And you feel powerful if you really mean it when you say those words, not if you just say it and you're trying to follow a trend. If you try to build up that energy, you can literally see the God you are, and you can change your entire day. I'm not gonna let anyone stop me. I'm gonna, like, these things fill you with power when you say it. You can even repeat it with me. I am a king. I am a queen. Like, this is me. I do this. I'm here working for my future. I'm gonna get things done. Like, if you do that and you mean it, you feel powerful. And I even talked about, you guys know how powerful words are. If you've ever been depressed or you've ever been down in the dumps and you heard that internal conversation with yourself, those thoughts aren't even your thoughts. It seems like you're fighting yourself, because you are. You're fighting yourself, and you're hearing the worst conversations like, I can't do this. Oh, wait, what am I gonna do? Like, fear, fear, fear. Like, that is all programming by yourself. You're facing yourself. You've taken that in, whether it be from your environment, yourself, whatever. It's all programming that can be undone by literal the power of words and affirmations. Now, there was one more thing that I wanted to say, but I think it'll come out in another video, because honestly, I'm gonna make these videos over and over until people start drilling them in their minds. And the truth is literally the English language is filled with curses and spells. You can use them to your advantage. You just gotta be aware of them first. Even titles like on news, like, just pay attention to how words are used and manipulated to try to manipulate the perception of others. You know, it's like that whole thing. I actually said this, saying that you love someone and you have a lot of love for someone have very two different connotations when you hear it. Like, oh, I have a lot of love for you. Not saying that like, oh, nah, I have love for this person. There's something slightly different about it. Tell me if you can tell. And I'm telling you, there is a little bit of a difference. And I was taught this by a very lovely woman in my life, and I seen the difference, and I was like, okay, I could see. But their words are used in such a detrimental, like, you know, like, words being used against you are causing, I don't even know how I wanted to say. I was trying to be fancy, but you know me. I'd rather just let myself flow with unique words that I use instead of trying to just throw them in there. But words can be detrimental to your health. That's how I'll say it. And they really can, because if you've ever been down, I'm serious, if you've ever been depressed, if you've ever been sad, you know exactly the internal conversations I'm talking about. And to think that is yourself, you can level that shit up and get all that shit out of there. Because it's not actually your self, it's your shadow self. But the rest of it, like the almost like the toxic sludge and waste that has been filled into your mind, that part isn't completely the shadow self. Because if you see my video about becoming one with your shadow self, you'll see that once you do that, you will be dominant. You will be dominant. But seriously, pay attention to your inner conversation with yourself, and pay attention to words that people use with you, because it's all curses and spells. Like hell. The reason, like hell, that was a weird rhyme. When you think about Latin, I've noticed this when I've watched creators like Corey Kenshin. When they play a game, it's so programmed into their mind that I think sometimes that they're aware of the programming. I think everybody that has made a certain name for themselves in this divine matrix know a little bit about the game and how programming works in this world. So, you know, I'm gonna be a little bit lenient on what I was gonna say, but I notice that every time they play games, they see some satanic ritual or something in a game, and the language that's usually used for the incantations and stuff is Latin. But English can be just as powerful as Latin. And I mean, you can see it I'll say you can see it in higher forms of the government, or even how news channels use it. Propaganda can be English, and it can be used very, very efficiently to melt minds, and just as powerful in curses and slurs and things like that, and spells. It doesn't have to just be Latin. But I've noticed that with a lot of horror games, they all follow the trend of using Latin, because Latin sounds devilish, Latin. And it's like, bro, Italian can sound like it, Spanish can sound like it, a lot of African tribes. I actually gave an example of when I first heard my dad speak, because I haven't talked to my dad until I was like 16, but he's Caribbean, and hearing that side of them, that heavy guttural accent, it almost sounds like they're consistently doing voodoo on you when they talk. And nonetheless, yeah, like I haven't heard really Native Americans talk, but I'm Native, so like I'm mainly Native and Caribbean and Italian, so I haven't heard natives really give their language, or if they've had certain sayings and calls. But when they're doing their dances, I gotta get more into the Aboriginals, but when they're doing their dances and doing the hey yeah, and it sounds like chants and stuff, I'm really telling you that a lot of it can be powerful. It depends on what works for you. But the biggest part is unprogram yourself from all the bad language and detriment you've been causing to yourself first. And that's mostly it. Much love and moonlight, and I'm out of here. Peace.